Hello, welcome to lesson 2 of my harmonica beginners course. Today we're going to be looking at how to make your harmonica sound like a train. So this is going to be quite a lot different to what we did last week, and this is what it should sound like. Okay, so this time instead of playing nice clean single notes, we're going to be playing chords. And a chord is when you play 3 or more notes together. So the chord that we're going to be playing is the 1, 2, 3 draw. So that's holds 1, 2, 3 at the same time on an in-breath, and then on a blow, on an out-breath. So. Now if you do that a few times, you might find that you're slowly inflating with air, and the reason for that is that the blow reeds are more sensitive than the draw reeds. So that means that they need less air to sound, so you want to try and get rid of the extra air that you took in while you're doing the draw chord by kind of loosening your lips when you play the blow chord, so that the air can kind of dissipate either side of the harmonica. So if I come up close, you should hopefully be able to see. So I'm exaggerating it, but you'll find that you can just open your mouth ever so slightly and let that excess air out, and it'll become a smaller and smaller movement as you get more practice at it. But start off just by kind of literally letting the air out with your mouth quite wide open. Your harmonica will kind of clatter against your teeth. That's normal. Don't push too hard against your mouth. I don't want you to knock your teeth out, but hitting your teeth, it's completely normal. We all do it. So yeah, you're playing this, and it's not sounding very much like a train. So to make it sound like a train, you're going to be uttering syllables as you're playing it. So the syllables that you're going to be saying are Naka, Taka. So you're going to be saying Naka on an in-breath. So Naka, Taka, 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 Taka. And I know it seems daft, but it's really useful to practice that away from the harmonica, just to get completely comfortable with that in-out thing. And the faster you can do it without a harmonica, the faster you can do it with a harmonica. So you can practice without the harmonica anytime, any place, and not bother too many people. You might get some funny looks on the bus. You might even get the bus yourself. So it's definitely good to be practicing this day to day. So it should now sound like this. So the rhythms just come from saying as you're breathing in and out. And you should feel that your tongue is hitting the roof of your mouth. That's normal. That's what you do when you say taka. It's when you say those syllables, and that's what we're looking for. That's what gives you the rhythm. So start off really slowly and get comfortable playing that for a decent length of time. I don't want you to be like, oh, well, I can do this, therefore I can play the train. You should be able to play for a few minutes without overinflating or getting out of breath. So it's good to practice this, playing it slowly. Play with a metronome, so put it kind of at a nice gentle pace. So this, I've set this to 80 BPM. I think that's probably quite a good speed. So practicing at that kind of speed is really useful, and then before you know it, you'll be able to speed it up until you get something like this. Really make it sound like a speeding flying Scotsman or something like that. So yeah, the next part of this is the train whistle. So the train whistle is going to be playing what's known as a double stop. Now, a chord was a collection of 3 or more notes played together. A double stop is 2 notes played together. So the notes that you're going to be playing are the 3/4 draw. So you center the harmonica in exactly the same way as if you were playing a single note, except your mouth's going to be slightly wider, and you're going to be aiming to have your kind of opening over the bar between the 3 and the 4 hole, and you're going to play a draw over that. So it should sound like this. So that already sounds quite train whistly, but there are a couple of things we can do to make it sound even more train whistly. So the first thing is saying another word while you're playing that. So you're going to be saying wah wah on an in-breath on that 3/4 draw. So wah wah. Obviously without moving your mouth, so just wah wah. Which, another thing that will make you look quite daft. So you just really need to want this, and if you don't want it enough, then you don't deserve to play. So, wah wah. So yeah, that's that real kind of rich train whistle sound. And then the next part of it to make it sound really rich is playing a hand wah at the same time. So a hand wah, if you remember last week when we were talking about how to hold the harmonica, you've got this kind of cup with your left hand, and then your right hand comes on the right hand side of the harmonica and sort of holds on by the thumb there, and you've got this kind of hinge here. So when you're doing a hand wah, you're going to link the thumb and index finger of your right hand and slot it over the end of the harmonica. So don't worry that you're covering up these high holes here, it doesn't matter because you're not going to be playing them, you're only going to be playing lower holes. And then with your right hand in this position you should be able to kind of close everything up, hold your left hand nice and tight, and you should hopefully see that there are no gaps between the two hands. So turn around, look underneath and see if there are any gaps. If there are any gaps, you won't get the wah. You know, if it looks like this, there's no wah. But if you manage to go from a really tight closed gap and then sort of rotating your hand like this, you'll get a wah wah. And if you're saying wah wah at the same time, it sounds fantastic. Really sounds like a train whistle. So how do you slot that into the playing of the train, the Naka? So the important thing with this is when you're going from the rhythm, into the whistle, that you're having your foot tapping all the way through, so you've got that internal sense of rhythm, and when you go up to that whistle, you start the whistle on the beat. So you go, and then when you come back into the chords, you start on the beat as well. So it doesn't matter how long the whistle is, if it's a long whistle or a short whistle, as long as you're starting it on the beat, and then you're coming back into the rhythm on the beat, so when you're tapping your foot. And a little trick that you're going to have to try and get to grips with is as you finish your whistle, you want to catch a little out breath on the way back down, starting to play the chords. So that you're not just kind of filling up with air. So and again. And when you've got to grips with playing that and playing whistles and playing the Naka rhythm, you can start varying what you're saying as you're playing. So instead of saying Naka, you could say tikata-takata, and that would mean that you were playing what's called triplets. So each beat is divided into 3 notes. So tikata-takata, tikata-takata, 1 2 3 2 2 3, 1 2 3 2 2 3, and it sounds like this. So it's kind of a nice variation that you can play with. So yeah, practice a little bit each day, not too much, just keep it consistent, and join me next week for